Hello, and welcome. It is, of course, World Building Wednesday. Well, no. Well, almost messed up there. It's Solo Sunday, which is on Friday. But that's how it goes. As always, I'm your host, Casimir Basilius, Imperial Lord. And today, as it is Solo Tabletop RPG Sunday on a Friday, we are going to continue where we left off, which is trying to avoid death. So, if we can make sure we have everything prepared, which we do, we will get to it. Let me just pop on over to the right map. Of course, we are following our adventurer, Juliana Aldis, as she makes her way on her quest for revenge. The hardest bit is finding the right map. One moment, my apologies. There we are, the right map. And yes, I know it's currently not visible. We will fix that in just a second. First things first, let's head on over to the proper sheet. That being our adventurer's sheet. Here we are. So, what? Okay. I forgot that Juliana Aldis was injured. Well, not ideal. Hopefully, we'll finish this contract, get our 5,000 Galactic Standard credits, and get healed. The quest is to avoid death, of course. Not in any literal sense. But that's the life of a mercenary. So, let's get right to it. Here we are. So we are currently running through an old abandoned, what's the word for it? Community center. Currently there is a gang upstairs fighting a corporate force downstairs. We appear to have drawn the anger of the corporate force. Oh. What? Oh, they're right next to us. I believe it is our turn. I try to always end it on our turn. And we are in a situation. Here's our adventure, Juliana Aldis, and here's the corp force. So, it appears we're engaged in melee. And we've hit one of them, and the other, if I recall, rushed in. So, we're going to have to find a way out of this one. And how better to kick off than, I suppose, with this. Yeah, well. Time for some mercenary adventures, in which, well, we'll avoid death to the best of our ability. Surrounded, in melee, it's gonna be rough. So, first things first, let us melee attack the injured trooper. For that, we're going to, of course, use our melee weapon. Nat 20. Okay, good start. Good start. 7 plus. Plus our bonus. Give me half a second to find that. Here we are. That is going to be 7 plus 8. Is that enough to penetrate the enemy's armor? Well, let's double check. Warpick -3 damage reduction. Here we are. The troops should have average combat forces. Barely not. Barely not. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend 1 action die, which is enough with 2, because that brings off 15 to a 17 with the armor pen of the Warpick. We have barely succeeded. That is, I believe we have action dice. So let me just double check now. I'm worried I misread. Nope, we do have action dice. Nope. Yep, we have 1 action dice. So put that down to 0. That gets confirmed as a crit. And we roll damage. 1 second while I quickly check our weapons stats. Times 2. Okay, so 2d10 plus 2 times 2. 2d10. We'll add plus 2. 8. That is a absolute shit roll. That is so below average. Holy shit. It's not minimum, but goddamn. 8. Okay. We'll work with that. So that becomes 16, because times 2. And this troop gets damage reduction of 1. So a total of 15. 12 plus 15. Because that's how much damage he already took. 12 equals 27. He dies. Juliana Aldous brings the Warpick around. jamming it into the side of the corporate soldier and removing it. He drops. We have a half action. This is going to be, I mean, it's turning in our favor. If we attack again, we're going to be at -5. But I don't think we have a choice in the matter. We could try and withdraw, maybe. I'd have to double check the rules on that. We can try and engage in. No, we're going to attack again and hope. This attack's going to be at +3, assuming we don't have any abilities, which I should have double checked in the first place. Nope. Do we have, at the very least, pick basics? No, we don't. Okay. We really need to train in our melee weapon. We are barely able to use, I say barely, like, we can use the melee weapon, just not to its full ability. And, due to archaic weapon proficiency, and technically we can block with it. Jab and leg sweep, however, are unarmed, so we don't really have any good attacks with our weapon. If we had any of the additional feats for like weapon specialization or martial arts maneuvers, we could do more with it, but we don't. That's something we should train. We're gonna get combat mobility and caster energy reserves at some point. Then we will train actual use of our pick. Well, the problem I face, I'm sorry, slight tangent. There's so many things I want to train. See, that's one of the things I prefer about our system. You can just train feats. It takes time and or money. You can buy downloads, you can get people to train you to basically make it train faster, all sorts of ways to get feats in a variety of manners. But there's just so many, and they're so expensive. I say they're expensive. Training them's cheap, technically speaking, but time consuming. Getting them done quickly is what costs more money. Lots more money. To basically get a skill downloaded into your brain, 50,000. To get trained is less, but that only speeds up the process. Normally it takes like a month or more. Usually I say the minimum un unassisted. The minimum unassisted is a month to train something. Of course, intelligence-based feats usually have increased time it takes to train them. So it can be more than a month, but usually it's in month increments. The training can cut it down to, I believe, a week, 1/4 of a month. All months are 4 weeks long in the Galactic Standard Calendar, so training can cut it down to a week if you get like the best training possible. So yeah, I mean, you can take downtime in game. It's just we haven't recently. So, it's really how it goes. I mean, depending on the situation, you can or can't like in Galactic Requiem, it's almost always an option. Like there's no rule that says you can't take downtime. But there's also the sense of if you're in a war zone or in contract, you can't really take downtime. Like where are you gonna get that time? You have to have time to take time. But for the usual stuff, usually it's not too much of a problem. Anyway, um, so we have a half action. um, with our half action, it's going to be at a minus. Come on, why are you lagging? Please. I hope everything hasn't frozen there. Come on. Come on. My apologies. Slight technical issues. Come on. Are we back? Please? My genuine apologies. But it does at least appear that we are back. Maybe. Possibly. So, let's hope that it's working and roll the dice. This is our second attack, so it's going to be at -5. We can try and do something more fancy. Like, you don't necessarily need feats to do something fancy. But, we could try a maneuver. Still going to be at -5. Do we have... No, we don't we? I was wondering whether we had, like, confrontation or something. We don't. So, we are at an absolute... No, we're just going to have to fight. We're just going to have to fight. Okay. I mean, this... Like I said, this... Anything you can, like... We're not limited to simply attacking. We can try anything. We can try knocking one enemy into the other, trying to hit them in the vitals, trying to stun them, jumping over them. We could do theoretically anything. But we're not really the most trained in melee, and the fancier we want to get, the harder it's going to be. Let's do a quick check. My apologies. What can we do with our two maneuvers, jab and leg sweep? Here we are. Because perhaps we can pull something off. Jab. +2 to hit with a unarmed punch attack. Not really the most useful. It would be if we were more trained in melee. But a +2 to hit for a d4 damage, not worth it right now. It can be if you actually spec into martial arts, though. And leg sweep. This one might be more useful for our current situation. Make a normal trip attack. If it hits, make a normal kick attack. If this attack hits, you get to make a trip attack against the target as an attack of opportunity, in addition to inflicting normal kick damage on him. Might as well give it a shot, because if we knock one down, they're not going to be able to attack us as well. So we'll try leg sweep. So kick attack. 2. Fail. So that's going to be a total of 5. So we sweep our leg across, and it just sort of hits their leg ineffectively, unable to trip them, doing very little. Okay, that brings it to their turn. The one labeled Creature 3 will attempt to hit with his rifle butt. With a 10 plus, what's his modifier? Yeah, well, his modifier is 7. 17 total. 17 against what? $26. So he smacks you then all this, but her armor just absolutely stops it. Technically, that is, like, by definition, I believe a hit, as a AC 17. So basically, it is a clip, but the armor simply blunts the attack. Okay. And he will try again. 14 minus 5, so another ineffective hit. He basically moves forward a little bit and tries to slam the butt of his gun against Juliana Aldis in the face twice. But the first one clips the torso plate of the heavy armor, doing nothing, and the second one actually hits Juliana Aldis in the face, but sort of just glances off the side of the helmet, basically. I mean, it shoves Juliana Aldis a little bit, but not in any way that really does anything. The second guy, seeing how ineffective this is, will attempt to tackle. So, 16 plus 7. He hits. Because it's basically against the touch attack, not against the armor. So that's a hit. Now, we see if it is effective. He rolls strength. 14 plus his modifier. Fourteen, 16. And Yelena Aldous rolls strength. 12. 12 plus, come on. 14. So we're beaten by 2, but we will roll our athletics. So it's a d20 plus 9. 12 plus 9 equals 21. Now let me quickly double check our rules. Combat maneuvers. +1 to the check per 5 above 10. So we tie. We tie. But we have equal strength. So we will, 1 second. Little bit of an issue. As we've tied and we both have the same strength score. It's been a while. Opposed checks. Whoever scores the higher result wins the contest. Higher key ability score wins, but we're tied. Roll again. Okay. He gets a 1, and we get a 13. Okay. The reason he went first is because he initiated, and he went first the first time, so as it's roll again, he rolls, then we roll. So a 1 is also a critical failure. But we don't have any action die to force that. So it is simply an absolute failure as he attempts to tackle Juliana Aldous and ends up, well, hanging on. He ends up hanging on. He just sort of, no, it's a one. He basically slams into Juliana Aldous, and then he sort of slides down to the ground. As he rams Juliana Aldous, trying to take her down, he sort of just bounces off as Juliana Aldous pulls away and he falls to the ground. Okay. He does have a half action, so I suppose he will stand up, ending his turn. Not ideal for him. So his crit fail basically cost him half an action. Okay. Juliana Aldous will attack again with the pick. Okay. Oh, let's hope. 18. That is a hit, not anywhere near a crit, but hopefully we won't roll absolute trash. 13, absolute average, not bad. So we bring our pick around again, this time on the guy as he's the guy that fell down. As he's standing up, we bring the pick around and hit him. 4? What was it? 13 damage minus 1 is 12. The pick catches him right in the back. It is not enough to cause a wound. It is enough to cause half wound. Yeah, it's enough to cause half wound. Let's check. My slight apologies. Let me rearrange my tabs. There we are. That's a bit better. Now it'll be a bit easier to swap between them. I had to keep looking because my tabs were a bit disorganized. Okay. So that is half con, meaning he will take a wound of some variety, unless he wishes to negate it. And since we said he's hit in the back, it's going to be a torso wound of minus 2. And on top of that, let's see. There we are. Torso. I need to roll a d10. Okay. It is the organs. Let's see exactly where. Oh. Right into the stomach. From the back. Not ideal. He's so very messed up. He's not going to negate that. I don't think. Let's double check. So we rolled loss of function. Now we need to see how much. 55% loss of function. So it's not organ failure. $55 loss of function. Okay. Yeah, he's not going to lessen that because it's not the worst damage he could take. It'd be a waste of his action points. You could turn that into a -1 instead. That would be more of a use. Let's double check how many points that will cost. Action dice. Ignore wound impairment, not ignore lessen. Lessen, reduce wound type. One action dice, it becomes a minor wound. So that is going to be a -1 instead of a -2. Yep, -1 instead of -2, -1 action dice. He'll only take a -1 to the torso. There. Because that will affect his rolls and all of his things, so he will want to subtract that. And he won't be able to subtract that in the future at the same low cost. So he'll spend 1 now to not take the penalty. Okay. You then Aldous will basically as a free action ping the gang and let them know that basically if there was any time, there's still people around, but if there was any time, now would be the time to push. Basically, she'll inform them of that. She will say that they might be watching the room, however, because, like, she doesn't know they're there right this second, but she was here fighting them. So she does have, like, some idea that there are or were people here. Hell, she specifically went around to try and flank them. So we have some idea. We will inform them that there were people watching the room, basically. And to be careful. But if there was ever a time. Okay. Now, let's see. We have a half action still. I think we gotta finish killing this troop. Um, hmm, hmm. Do we though? The idea popped up to me. Why don't we negotiate? Why don't we negotiate? These are just your average core people. They're not the best equipped. They're not the best motivated. And a significant portion of their team just died. I could care less about killing them all. So, why? There's a few reasons why we might not want to let them walk away. But we have no real. Hmm, yeah, we'll attack again. We'll basically, while we're attacking, we'll basically tell them your allies are dead. Retreat now and you might live, while trying to eviscerate this person. 20. Doesn't matter that that's a -5, that is a hit and a threatened crit. 7, so it's not a crit, but it is. Wait. Yeah, no, that's not a success, but it is a hit. 17. -1 is 16. So that guy is dead. Okay, swinging the pick around again, she places it into the poor troop's head as he's recovering. Basically, like he went to stand up after a failed tackle, takes a pick to the back, continues to try and stand up, like shaking violently, and then takes a second swing of the pick right to the head, and he just dies. Okay, and I suppose that will proc a intimidate and then a morale. The intimidate will provide a penalty on their morale. Well, it'll provide them a penalty on the morale check if it passes. If it doesn't pass, then there's no benefit or drawback, and if it fails horribly by more than a certain amount, then it will provide a bonus to their check. 12 plus what? 12 plus 0 versus 13. I mean, I think safely we can actually add a bonus d4 to ours. So tie. Okay. They need to make a plain morale check. No benefit or drawback of 6. They do not succeed. The soldier seeing his, basically having hit Aldous twice with the butt of his gun, seeing his buddy try and tackle her, slide off, and then take a pick to the back and then the head in rapid succession, he panics. He panics. Let me double check the results. We had a 6 plus what? Just to make sure I'm doing this right. So a total of 8, I believe. And what's that against? Resolve. 8, because we have to figure out basically how much he's in trouble, basically. Half of your group. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 15. That's more than half. Sorry, a little bit of math. Oh. Okay, so it's not as bad as it could be for them. Nope. It is because they don't like their leader. They're literally just hired grunts, basically. They have no thing for it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they fail by enough to retreat. They may choose to spend an action die to suffer stress damage. No, unless you spend an action die, suffer. So they're going to suffer stress. Need to grab my additional dice just because it's easier to do this with the book open. 5 stress. 1 standard move action during each round that should begin adjacent with the opponent or within the first range of minimum. They must move away from an opponent. If not possible, they will surrender. Okay. So they're required to spend at least a half action retreating. They can do it tactically, but they have to basically retreat. They can be more tactical about it if they want, or more or less tactical about it if they want. So, half their team's dead. The local gang is coming down the stairs. More than half their team's dead, and one person appears to have wiped out 10 of them single-handedly, leaving 5 of them left, and one of them is severely injured and shaken. They will tactically retreat. They don't have to. They have to try to. But given the situation, the fact that they're in enemy territory, we do have to keep that in mind. These are local corp forces, but they are basically in an area of the city that that's gang run. They're in an area of the city that's absolutely gang run. So basically, they are going to retreat. Let's see. This guy will grab his wounded ally. And drag, well, his ally is technically not dead. He's dying for the most part, like, technically speaking. He's practically as good as dead. I don't think they're going to be able to get him to a doctor in time, but he'll try. This guy's across the room. I don't think he can make it in a round, and they are coming down the stairs. So he's just going to full-on retreat. And this guy will attempt to withdraw. You and all this will basically let him move away. She's not going to attack of opportunity him. Well, sort of. You and all this will purposefully look like she's letting him go. With the intent to let him go, but sort of, threaten his retreat to make sure that he definitely does. Okay. And with that, I suppose the gangsters will begin heading out. You and all this will spend a half action. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I want some of what they have. It's not good, but I want it. I also want this. I want all their cars, let's be honest. I want all of their cars. But there's only one of us, and the cars are not networked. So we're gonna have to drive it. So we'll take the big vehicle. We'll see whether we can't grab some guns or something off of the corpses if we can. I mean, it'll be a half action. Yeah, we'll grab 2 assault rifles, basically. We could probably stay and gather more or something, but they might push back out. I'm not sure. They can recover from the retreat status. Technically, they have loosely recovered from it by completing the objective. They could still attack. They're not in rout or in surrender. So we're just going to grab the 2 assault rifles and retreat ourselves. We've completed our contract, which is get the gangsters out of here. Basically, on their turn, let's make sure. Yeah, so they're not being threatened. People are retreating, so they can make it to there on their turn, basically heading down the stairs and moving to leave. You and Aldous will grab 2 guns, so we'll add those to her inventory. They're just bog standard assault rifles, so it's nothing too special. Two basic corp ARs, and then we will personally fall back, which gets us to there. Okay, their turn. Now that they're in cover, they don't. Let's double check the rules on that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Each mal effect lasts, so it remains unless they try and resolve it. So basically, what's that mean? So yeah, they basically have to be in cover, and they wish to disengage. They can fight, but they basically want to be, at least in this case, I believe it's 50 to 100 feet or more. So basically, yeah, in cover, they're fine. They will try and loosely push out, I suppose. Just ever so loosely. They're not going to fully engage. You and Aldous will rush past with the gang, basically. They can't catch up, so basically combat ends. We will basically, as we're rushing out of the building, you and Aldous will say, well, got you out of there. Transfer me my pay. And they will. There's no reason they wouldn't. Well, but will they transfer us our pay, or do we have to do a bit of murder? There's a +8 on this roll, by the way. First roll for chaos. No chaos. Now, let's see. So it's 2d10 +8. 6, 7, plus 8, which makes it a yes. Otherwise, it would have been a no, actually. But the fact, so the reason it's plus 8, which is the maximum I believe it can be, it might more so be a plus 6 than a plus 8, let's be honest. But that's still a success. They realize we've basically killed a significant portion of a corporate task force. Well, it's a shitty corporate task force, but it's enough of a threat to them that it would have killed them. We killed a significant portion of it. There's no way in their right mind they're going to be like, no, we're not paying you. There's a small chance, which is why we rolled on it using the bot. But let's be honest, the fact that we killed like 10 troops in medium combat armor with assault rifles alone, you know, like the likelihood of them being like, well, we're not going to pay you is low. So we'll add $5,000 to our inventory. Let's see, inventory. Bring us to 86,600. Not bad. And basically, they'll rush out. We will rush towards this. And we will, we'll throw the corpse out. Take his keys, basically, and we will take his call. I suppose we'll ask the bot another question. Will the gang take one of the cars? 1, 3. No, they won't. They probably think it's too risky or something to steal a corp car. So they'll just basically rush off into the gang controlled areas while we will drive off with a light corp not IFV, APC, which we will add to our inventory. Of course, we're not carrying it, but you know. Corp Light APC. And we'll return that basically to our base. We are technically here, so, well, here's the vehicle, but basically, in short, from here we'd back up, drive down the street to here, where our stuff is. Wrong map. Wrong map, come on. I really gotta rename these maps better. This is the right one. Oh, I forgot to copy the vehicle. Now I have to go through the maps again. There we are. Okay. Eudalus will return to base, and she will basically try and make a deal with the gang. Basically, she'll talk to the boss and ask him to clear the vehicle for her. Not clean it up or anything, but basically make it so she can keep it. Because buying one would be annoying. And I wouldn't mind having another vehicle. I wonder. Might even be able to store our hover bike in it. Wouldn't that be neat? Or use it as a sort of little home base. I'd probably store a hover bike on top of it. That'd be more than fine. Or pull it behind it even. But why not? And we will also sell the 2 assault rifles. Or at least we'll try to. Let's check our sheet and do a little management. Yep, we'll sell the 2 ARs for a total of $1,000. Let's see. We're on our last armor-piercing cells, so we need more of those. How much is that going to cost? A lot. Let's double check. Here we go. Ammo. So it's $1 per bullet. Well, per energy charge. $1 per energy charge. Plus 400%. Nope, 600%. Well, 280, but they're gonna charge us more. So $300 per cell. 1,500 bucks to refill all of our spare ones. In fact, we'll go 6 because we'll unload AP. Oh, wrong key. Standard loaded. 11. 6 there. 1,500 bucks subtract. There we are. What else do we wish to do? Money-wise. Not money-wise. I mean equipment-wise. Oh yeah, grenades. I want to get grenades. Our armor is fine. How's our vehicle looking? Fully repaired. The other one shouldn't have been damaged. We are injured. So the non-lethal will go away in like 30 minutes, so that's gone. The rest we're gonna have to get treat injured for, and we'll do that at the doctor. Not the normal doctor, the gang people. Gonna be D4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Which brings us to maximum. And we will rest for the day. That goes up by 1. This goes up by 1. That goes up by 1. That goes down by 1. No, it goes up by 1, my apologies. No, that one goes down. I really should note that better. That should be at 5. This one counts up. That goes to 3. As we have rested, this goes back up to 2. This goes back up to 2. As we will basically train, focus on casting, focus on maneuvering and combat. Our energy points go back up to max. Our action dice refill. Our favor does not go up, that's earned in-game. Okay. Not bad. Let's see how much grenades are going to be. Can we even get them? Yes, at increased cost, of course. What kind of grenades would we want if we were going to get grenades? We don't have a launcher, so we want thrown grenade. A launcher would be nice, though. But we don't have a launcher, but it would be nice. There's a normal launcher and a heavy launcher. Both attachments for guns. If we did want thrown grenades, even then, do we want normal frag, special high explosive, thrown flechette, HE high X, rolling blast flechette, rolling blast concussion, specialty grenades such as cryo grenades, acid grenades, EMP grenades, thermite grenades, white phosphorus grenades, ion grenade, stun grenade, slowing grenade, adhesive grenade, gas dispersal grenade, flare grenade. There are a lot of different grenade options available to us. There's even automated grenades. There's full-on grenade packages. If you're wondering what a grenade package is, well, there are a wide variety of grenades. There are grenade packages. The multipurpose case is a standard grenade template that allows a grenade to be thrown, set like a mine, used with a launcher, stuck to an object, or set as a trap. However, it costs 50 additional credits per grenade to get that package. A sensor package may also be attached. This allows IFF ident, remote detonation, proximity detonation, and timer detonation for an additional 50 credits per grenade. There's also cheaper packages, like you can get simply grenade launch compatible, which is slightly cheaper, etc., etc. But if I am getting grenades, let's be honest, we want grenades for utility purposes. We want to clear rooms, we want to do all sorts of neat stuff with our grenades. So going the extra 50 credits is probably going to be worth it. So that means we could use them with a launcher if we ever got a launcher, but it's going to be 200 credits per grenade. Well, before black market prices. And how much are they going to charge us? Okay, so it's going to be a full price increase. 1 second. As I double check how much that increases the price by. Mm-hmm. Here we are. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, not as bad as I thought. Oh, yes, as bad as I thought. 500 credits per grenade because we don't have good standing with these people. We have okay standing with them, but it'll be 500 credits for a grenade with all the modifications. Sure, we'll get 6 of them. So it's going to be 3,000 bucks. I suppose we have to decide what kind of grenade we want. Luckily, the price of the basic variants doesn't matter. And by that, like, it matters. What I mean is, where is it? So I can explain a little bit better. So, the value of a frag grenade and the value of an HE grenade here are roughly the same. Same with a flechette grenade. High-X, flechette, etc. are the same price. Rolling blast ones cost slightly differently, and all the specialty grenades, cryo, acid, EMP, etc., those cost different amounts. But for the very basic variants, it costs roughly the same across the board. Actually, I think, no, not the flechettes. The flechettes do cost more? No, the flechettes don't, luckily. No, they do. They do. The flechettes do. Shit. So our choices are standard or HE. The special high-X HE does cost more. Oh, I suppose I should state what the difference is. So, a frag basically applies bleed and has higher wound chance, while HE has slightly less wound chance, still has wound chance, but slightly less by 2, does not apply bleed, but applies takedown. It will knock a target back from the location. And if the target cannot be knocked away, they take an additional dice of damage per amount they cannot be knocked away, up to an additional 2d6. However, they can theoretically resist the knockback. Anyway. So, they each have benefits because bleed is powerful. But flat damage increase, but less chance to injure, and the damage is not a flat there, like it's not a flat damage increase. It has to be in an area in which they can't be knocked back. And it does a maximum of 2, so it really depends. I think we'll go with frag. Okay. Sorry, grabbing the notes for it. Let's see. $50 15 foot times 5. And lastly, there we go. Oh, we also need to note the packages. Multi-purpose plus sensor package. Oh. There we are. $60mm thrown frag grenade. Increment. Multi-purpose plus sensor. There we are. Only cost us a bunch of money. But I believe it will be worth it. Hell, I kind of want to buy more. But let's look at other things we need to buy first, though. Carrying 6 is enough for now. Got our ammo. Got our grenades that we thought would come in useful. There's a lot I want to buy. Honestly, I could inventory manage forever. The problem is we don't have the money to inventory manage forever. Because I'd be like, okay, here's all the feats I want to get. Here's all the items I want. Oh, this item would be nice, you know, like... I love inventory managing. Figuring out what we could get, what we want, what feats we want, what abilities we want, what skills we want to get. Character sheet management. Let's see. Well, it worked out for us. To a degree, so far, the mission. We've made more than we've spent. We've gotten more than we've used. Things are looking good. Okay. Sorry. Looking at Inventory. So, we now know what weapons we have, what gear we want. We have ideas. We have ideas. Honestly, I want training so bad. But if we want instant training, it's going to be at minimum $50,000. Not worth it. See, we have need big contracts, but big contracts are risky. Maybe we should do a bunch of small contracts. Make some cash on small contracts before we look. I realize sitting behind the desk with the papers and the combat armor and the sunglasses, perhaps I should become a contract giver, a mercenary contract giver. I mean, I do have a video up. I believe I uploaded it of me offering mercenary contracts for the Empire. Well, offering my forces out as mercenary contractors. Perhaps look, this look that I have right now works real well for mercenary contract handler, doesn't it? Works real well for that. Look, you go over there, take the contract. We'll see how it works out. I'll make sure you get your 20,000. I'll take my small cut of the work. I'll take my small cut. You get your 20,000. I get my small cut. The business works. The business works. What you want? You want air support? Mercenary? You want air support? I'm sure I can task an Imperial fighter to your location, but you will be paying. You will be paying for that air support. So, what say you? Oh, you don't quite have enough? I'll tell you what. You retrieve that valuable intel from the location, and I'll give you half price on the air support, Good luck, mercenary. I really ought to get into mercenary tasking. That would be lovely. Basil's mercenary tasking. Yes. I'll consider it. I will consider it. So. I wanted armor for the longest time. And now that I finally have armor, I'm just so happy. My good old Imperial chest plate. I was worried that when making it work, it wouldn't. I was worried that it wouldn't. Of course, it's slightly. Like, the old conscript image that I got so long ago is facing off to the... It's facing to the side. But due to that fact, it actually makes it work extra well with my symbol. And because my cloak has the symbol right there. It really, fits, I love it. It took a bit of work to cut it out of the conscript image to get it to, like, crop right. But I think it works lovely. And then the sunglasses. Sunglasses are just from the base assets, but I think they work so well with this getup, Anyway. So, you then all this needs money. Perhaps we'll take some small contracts, things that are less risky. Yeah. We could take some days off. In-game days, that is. Train some. We're not going to be getting money if we take in-game days off. We could take small missions and basically take the rest of the day off after every individual small mission. Or we could take long-term contracts like pay per hour or vague contracts, in which case we don't actually have to complete them. We can roll a check to see how much we earn. Or take 10 on that check and just get paid. Basically doing a low-tier grunt work, basically. for anybody. However, the pay would be super low, but we could basically do that to pass in-game time if we ever need to. Hell, we could just pass time without doing that, but money. I mean, let's be honest. When we did character generation, so long ago, we got lucky. We invested, basically. If you see here, spending cash full. We could have put it on other things. Could have had a house, a vehicle, etc., etc. But we earn 1,600 credits a week due to investment. So basically, 1,600 a week is enough to basically live like in standard galactic society and make money due to our space investments. We don't need to do anything. Technically, with spending cash full, Yuliana Aldous could retire. Let's be honest, she could retire. She's out here for revenge and the love of mercenary work. Mostly revenge. So, of course, she's not going to retire. After all, revenge. But let's see. So, we're earning about 6,400 a month. How much does that earn us in the end? Let's see. 6,400 a month? At living costs? We could afford good. We could afford a good lifestyle. Because a good lifestyle is 4,760 credits a month. 4,760 credits a month gets us average food. Average food being a fresh meal. Not just one fresh meal. This is like every single 3 times a day. 3 fresh meals and standard beverages. Standard beverage being, we actually have tiers. Where's our food chart? Standard beverage. I could have sworn I had a food chart. Okay, so standard beverage is like any actual good drink. I say actual good drink. By that I mean like basically a soda, an actual like soda, fruit juice, any sort of basic beverage you could basically get at the grocery store. Flavored water is the step below, which is basically flavored water. It is not the cheapest. The cheapest drink is water. But basically, so any basic drink, then there's 2 steps above, which is good beverage and fancy drink. So basically, and then what was the lodging at that? Good lodging. A 40 by 40 apartment or house. What's 40 by 40? So that's almost an actual house in a standard location. Basically, there's different location tiers. A house would be No, it's nowhere near a house, my apologies. A lot, buying a house on a lot is 50 by 100. You would need lifestyle for that. So basically, we could rent a house in a bad location, or we could like just get normal stuff. Like we'd have to keep paying for it. It's not something we'd buy. You'd have to just keep paying every month for it, which is why you might want property as opposed to lifestyle. But basically, we could get a 40 by 40 lot area house, 40 foot by 40 feet, complex, basically. No yard, the full complex would be 40 by 40 in a standard location, 30 by 30 in a valued location, or a 20 by 20 room in a high valued location. So we could live in an upper class district. Is that even right? I feel like there's something off on the math here. Hmm. I feel like the math's off, which is going to bug me to the end of time. But in short, good lodging, yeah. So, basically, we could just not have to do anything, but we wouldn't be able to get revenge. So, obviously not what we're going to do. You then all just wants her revenge, and I'm all for getting that revenge. So, um, honestly, we can stop paying for this. I mean, it's gonna run out, but like, we don't need to renew it because we're staying at this gang hideout. And basically, all of our stuff we own is on us. We could always just rent a new place. We're not even on the right continent, I don't think. Hmm. Okay. Well, we will call it here. I'm gonna go get some coffee. I'm probably going to think about the campaign and what we're going to do next time. We'll probably talk about that on World Building Wednesday. And then we'll continue this next Friday, which is Sunday, given our calendar. But yes, I suppose. Well, let's see. There's one other thing I want to say, if I can even remember it. Oh yeah, we might be doing a more armor on Saturday, probably, possibly. We're gonna try and have news video up on Tuesday, hopefully. And that's it for now. Oh, experience. 12. So we're at 104. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I've been your host, Casimir Basilius, and I hope that you have had and do have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time.